find sometimes. It's nice and harsh, but that's the way it feels to me. I feel like people that go to masters, might be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, they stick to college. And I love it if they integrate themselves into the community. Yeah, I might be wrong there. Anyway, that's one piece of creative input.
Are you a poet or a writer?
I'm a writer. I love the community. Being able to talk every day is how easy to people save my life. And that's the main reason why I keep doing it. Paul asked me to MC tonight. I haven't MC'd in years at this stage. So, very nervous. Couple minutes. Massimo is
Where does he live?
Philadelphia. But he's here.
Yeah, that's why
It's Massimo. He's not big head anymore. Now he's here. He's life size. He's not big. You don't know Massimo?
No, it's the first.
Actually, I know. Thanks. Yeah, sure.
I'll wait a second. I'll wait for you.
So nervous outside Christmas. Meant to meet someone.
Please, you've seen the place. I know. I'll come back every month.
Nice to see you.
Hey, Patricia, how are you?
Found everything okay? John, how far brought you up?
And then
She brought you up.
I brought out
I'm just worried about all this stuff.
want to record me because she
Okay.
Good. Sector. Yeah. There you go. Hello, everyone. Hello. Everyone can find their seats and quieten down with your poetic banter. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm your host tonight, Phil Spillane. Thanks very much. Thank you. It's going to be a great night. And it's welcome to Lavelle. It's the 701 event. It's been 701 events of Lavelle, which is pretty cool. So Lavelle is split into 4 parts. We have the poetry films, which is just what broadcasting there behind me. We have the 5-word challenge, which I'm going to explain in a little while. And then we are going to have our guest poets, which is Paul and Massimo. Really looking forward to introducing those two. And then we have the open mic. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing night. Now, I just want to mention first of all that just be aware that the event is recorded and will be available to revisit as an MP3 podcast and video on Lavelle's website, on social media and on Vimeo channels. Now, another thing I also want to announce is that the till has been malfunctioned up here. So it's not Alex. They are machines break. We forget about that. We believe that they're extensions of ourselves, but machines break. So today the machine up here is broken. So Alex, who's a wonderful human being, be kind to her as you order your drinks. Thank you very much. Oh, that deserves a round of applause for Alex. Does a great job. All right, so the 5-word challenge is very simple. In a moment, I'm going to ask you for 5 random words, and I want you to put those 5 random words into a poem. And then in about 15 minutes, you're going to have 15 minutes to write that poem. Then the mic is open, you can come up and perform that poem. And the person who gets the loudest response wins. Does that make sense? Awesome. So can I have 5 random words, please?
We have Shadow from Pam. Sorry, she joined there first.
So this is also a hybrid event, so just keep that in mind. There are people beaming into us from all around the world. So we have Shadow from Pam.
Broken.
Evergreen.
Whoa, lads. No. Broken, okay.
Insane.
We have insane and evergreen.
Shadow.
One moment there. We have
Family.
one more word, family. We have 5 words. I was double checking it. So the words are, wow guys, you're fast. Shadow, broken, insane, evergreen, and family. So yeah, got 15 minutes. Have fun. Best of luck. 15 minutes, 1-5. Okay. For the open mic, you do need to sign up. For the 5 words, you don't. Do you want to go the open mic there? Yeah, sure. Yeah, the open mic goes at the very end after the guest goes. So, you know, the open mic is there. Oh, we mix them up. Wait.
Which side? Right there?
Right here. I don't need the word family.
See, I don't have my glasses.
No worries.
Here in my hand, but not on.
Very much. There we go. Just on the
I'm talking about this. No, which side?
So as again, like it goes after the guest quote, so at the very end. Got like 5-ish minutes left, ish, 5 minutes. How you doing? There was no like long words. I didn't think anyone couldn't spell, so no pressure. But I wrote something, so I'll get my one out of the way first, and then I'll leave the mic open, and then anyone can run up and participate. And also, actually, I forgot to mention, I know a lot of people in the room, but I don't know everyone. I don't know everyone in the world. So if you can come up and give me your name, that'd be great. And if you think I know your name, you might be wrong. So please give your name anyway. That'd be great. Anyway, the shadowed illusions were broken. I've learned my family are insane and human. I found, though, a new pack. We are wild and evergreen. At night, we howl with the moon. Thanks so much. Just like that. That's the clap. That's the that decides the winner. Perfect. All right, the mic is open. Come up. And look at that. Someone from Zoom has come up. We have Pam. Yeah, someone from
Okay.
Zoom.
Do you
Looking
want
forward to
me
hearing
to
it, Pam.
go? Yeah, me? Okay. Hey, Massimo. I miss you on Zoom screen. All right, here's my poem. Allow me to wander with you in the shadows of broken family, dimmed eyes and muted voice, in the insane search for firefly light, splinters of a traded tangibility. Allow me to wander with you, injured stone by injured stone, in once evergreen mountain, strip mined bare. Our lens, sparkle glint of knife edge, into waters divisible by human hands. Allow me to wander with you, to murky, insane depths, to sieve suspicion, fear, pain, to empty lungs, drain, and rise to the light weathered waters hold. Thank you.
Alicia.
Alicia.
I can go on my tippy toes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine. So, okay. The Shandon bells ding dong dismally in the distance as the space marks itself up between our moving bodies. The inches between us diminish as the notches on the walls around us increase. They swell in number like spiders' legs hatching across the concrete, dug in with nails and twigs. The numbers mount with each passing year that sore souls spend among these walls, frozen to the spot between Blarney Street and the river. They would break down the barriers and take their chances if they could. Even if they didn't know how to swim across the Lee, any chance at freedom, any opportunity to breathe fresh air. Even if it meant gulping that mouldy, putrid water with its sulfuric tinge and acrid chaser, it tastes better than being called insane. We feel the shadow darken as the sun sets and turns St. Kevin's mental asylum a darker shade of red, releasing the memories in these walls, tales untold by people long dead. We know we are privileged to be able to freely vault over. We can always freely vault right back. To love, to safety, to plane tickets and dances in the dark. I count you as family, not just because we can both see the ghosts, but because we share an evergreen truth, that just because a system goes unchallenged does not mean it's not broken.
Give your name again?
Mary.
Mary.
We're Massimo's aunts. Jane and I wrote this really quick. The broken family shadows our experience, insane but dear, and remains evergreen. But we're not broken if we are fortunate. What does insane mean? A different choice? A different journey? Acceptance, understanding allows growth, evergreen. The world is better. The gravity of our past moors us.
Thank you. A light out, lost color. Evergreen family tree. Life extends a single legacy through time. The experience of existence. Judgment is a divine shadow acting by contrast, in context, applied over and over, making use with insane inconsistency. What of it cannot spread in good conscience, will be broken, torn off the spectrum, lost back into the darkness, or may be caught in another concept. It colors it with its light, making something new.
Hi, Antonio here. This poem is called Intermission. The glass was broken. Within the fractures, a prism of colors was coming out. amongst them an insane hunger of life. Each pieces combined together gave it a shape of something warm as a family. Before the crash of the glass, there was a shadow. After the intermission and the crash of the glass, the mirror was full of evergreen light. Thank you.
Jeff. We have Jeff on Zoom. By the way, Jeff.
Okay, this one is based on a true story. My evergreen tree was broken in three. A new family of tree pieces, see? A freak lightning flash tripled the shadow it cast. It drove me insane, since my petty little brain couldn't fathom a tree that was broken in three. What now? I bellowed to a host of random fellows. Are there 3 moons now, overleapt by 3 cows? Are there 3 Taj Mahals, 3 sets of Niagara Falls? Are there 3 Eiffel Towers? The mere thought made me cower. They gave me some Ritalin to calm all my fits and then committed me away. But now I'm okay. I swear I'm feeling fine. I have a new tree. It's a pine. That is based on a true story. Thank you.
Hello, my name's David. This is also a true story. Kind of. Those veins in his hands always stay with me, protruding out like roots of a tree, evergreen. They really spoke to the enormity of my dad's physique. Only years of hard work will leave on a person trying to hold on to anything. He didn't come from a broken home, I think, but it wasn't altogether. Definitely fucking insane the way my prick of a grandfather treated his kids and pitted them against one another. That casts its shadow of pain and grief that lives with my family still today. Thank you.
This is also based on a true story. Everyone knows you're insane except me. You pirouette around the evergreen massacre, walking to cast no shadow, no fanfare. The half-wit conspiracies fitting the bill. The broken standing, no fast ascending, fitting the flimsy bill, not hard and fast. The put down of a family with life experience as well. The rotten hijack on its dominance. The solemn wish for sense overriding. Prisoner of the insane, shallow of potential. The evergreen hobo, selectively warped, selectively broken, a jettisoning the family, fallen higher ground, suited to depart. Everyone knows you're insane except me.
My name is Catherine, and I'm jumping on This Is the True Story because this is the true story. I wasn't going to read it all, but I said, oh, I'm going on the true story. So this is the true story. When I was in school, in Regina Mundi, our school anthem was Evergreen Our Hope. And boy, did we prove it. The principal, let's call him Mr. Murphy, was in love with the secretary, and we could all see it, except her, which was quite insane. But like the teenage family we were, we conspired by sending anonymous love letters and leaving wild flowers by her new typewriter. It worked. They married 15 years later because, you see, only the broken can open, and love unzips every shadow. Thank you.
I guess this is a true story as well. I'll just keep the trend going. This poem is called Till We Meet Again, and pun intended. My beautiful friend, what happened to you? You are a friend, a beloved family. When I looked at you, all I saw was shadows. You looked insane. Your light, dimmer than usual. Padder may have been sad, but I felt broken. Heartfelt memories connect me to you. From parties to poetry nights, I watched you be a part of our lives. In the end, I learned something. I guess not all tales are evergreen. But please, it's finally time to wake up from your slumber party. You know why? Because me, maths, and calculators are not best friends.
Hey, Bobby. So this one, not a true story. Oh. I mean, kind of, I've changed some details. It's called The Hitchhiker. Evergreen shadows on the sawmill lawn. Buckshot teeth smile at broken dawn. Insane eyes and a rational jar. I'm hoping for the stopping of your family car.
Well, I'm straight back for a festival. From a festival. If it weren't for our precious guests tonight, I might have been on that side of the session. And I don't know where this came from. It's definitely not a true story, and it's not finished. And I don't know what it is. So, no title yet. Shadows cast their angular shapes on the meadow in the evening slant. Limbs drawn longer than reasonable wander ahead on the dusky path. Hats tilted like insane crows, black feathered and unpreened, cast icy silhouettes of ridicule. Our broken necks, braced to hold up the jester's crown, have given under its weight. We remain forever green in the face of a family that cannot wait to be released from its endless waiting.
Roxanne, and it is a true story. The fields were green, or rather evergreen, from so much life, love, joy, peace. Clear blue sky, shining sun, no shadows, but damn the wind. It was so cold and I got sick from the emotion, traveling, waiting to reach the day. I watched their pictures, crying from the same emotion, grateful and proud. They make it all worth it. I have seen couples in love, but they are glowing, majestically beautiful. It's insane. I could be jealous, envious, but I can't. It's one of the men of my life. I am in peace I was there. I did the work, tick the box. I can close the chapter, or will when actually send the gift. One more breath. We all smile in the pictures, but the phone is silent on my end. She probably cries. It's time to hold on, look forward, and hope this is only a phase and we are not a broken family.
Emily. Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry. Making an entrance. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and this is my first time in, so I think I'm gonna be brave. Just to say I've done it, right? Yeah, just to say I've done it. It's a good bit.
It's down for you anyway to make
What?
it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah.
So everyone can hear your fabulous voice.
That's helpful. And okay, so based off the words, this is like anecdotal maybe, and it should have maybe a kind of shadowy title like Alone or something moody, but untitled for now. Never trust your shadow, that broken, elongated thing lurking behind, bringing draught on your evergreen heels. Do walk on the side of bravery, dubbed insanity by the open-hearted, softer-skinned folk, and place doubt on that faceless silhouette, even when it is your only family. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Go on, go first.
Hi.
What's your
Thank
name?
you, Jen.
Jen.
Yeah. This is kind of partly true. He was part of you, yours, before he broke the gauze of your body. We ask him to forget that, don't we? Don't we? That he was yours, housed inside your skin, spilling out on a tide of your pain and longing. He was part of you, yours, before you held him in the cool ward, broken and insane, your parts aching to be together again. After months of the two of you feeding him in utero those sweet nuts from a stall in Hammersmith, taking him swimming, feeling him move, both of you suspended, your family, future, inside you, evergreen. He was a part of you, yours, emerging, white-stained, blaring, purple, shocked to be inflamed in air, cut from you, torn. We ask him to forget that, don't we? And we burn.
I'm Becca. Hi.
Rebecca.
Yeah, Becca.
Becca,
Just Becca.
pleasure.
Yeah. Hi.
That's not Becca.
So this is called The Wounds We Make. Thank you. Sorry, I'm so short. This is called The Wounds We Make. I said, I am your shadow, your dark twin, the cast down shape created in your image and felled beneath your scraping feet. I said, I am your broken toy, legs ripped away and stuffing slipping out the tears you made. I said, this is insane. To keep coming back to the same brink, the same rough edge, the same evergreen destruction, we share it unending. Our daily disaster, your constant rending of my fascia and epidermis, the ways you cut me into a shape better worth loving. But you have always said, I am your mother, and none of us are free from the urge to destroy as a form of creating. This is what it means to be a family.
My gritlessness disappoints even me. Maybe I'll find another way to be. But this housing crisis doesn't forgive nomads. When the music stops, you're it. And was the fun really worth it? Those years lived on the cheap, forgetting family, the need to make one, not taking shadows seriously till the evergreens close in. You buck against this ending, overdone, you think. And you remember that what you learned recently, that insanity is just another word for what other people don't see. And no one's broken, just holding something in.
Don't look at me, like. We're looking at Molly, we're not looking at you.
Oh, come on, Rabin Raleigh, come on. No. How's everyone else doing? Anyone else got a shadow poem out there? Everyone Zoom? Oh, here we go. Sorry. Mona, thank you very much. You're amazing. You're tall inside.
It's called Family is a Thing with Shadows. Family is a thing with shadows. It wanders down evergreen laneways, nodding to oxeye daisies. Ferns like the many babies with curling fingers at their tips. They hail ladybirds opening their fans while entering the shadows again. We all know them. We all need them. We hide in them, especially when we feel broken. Broken, down, sad, that black dog snapping at our heels. And I spit out that toxic fifth word insane, for some families sing.
How are you doing? Does anyone else want to go up? Anyone else have a poem? It doesn't matter if it's like an evergreen tree or if it's like a shadow itself. I said that joke earlier. It can be true story. It doesn't have to be true. It can be completely made up. It can be complete BS, you know. All right, guys. There were like 18 people performing tonight, and they were all fantastic. Like, wow, what a family we have here. Fair play. A big round of applause for everyone. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out for Alicia for like being fantastic there. Alicia, Alex also held the top. Alex behind the bar also held the top there for a good while as well. And I just want to give a big mention to Emily, but the only person that said anecdotal. Nice one. That's a poet there as well. But strangely enough tonight, same with Alex and most people that did well tonight, it wasn't really how loud the claps were, it's how long the clap went on for. And that's definitely Jen. Congratulations, Jen. Want to come up and read the poem again? I'd love to hear it.
Yes, I
can't read it, but I also need to make a confession. I don't know, am I disqualified? Because when I looked
Whoa.
at it again there, I think I edited out shadow. Oh, I can put it back in.
Put it back in. That's happened before. That's happened before. I can name some famous faces that has done that. Paul,
You can put it in the title or something.
Okay.
There we go.
Lovely. Shadow.
She won. Well done.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks so much. He was part of you, yours, before he broke the gauze of your body. We ask him to forget that, don't we? Don't we? That he was yours, housed inside your skin, spilling out on a tide of your pain and longing. He was part of you before you held him in the cool ward, broken and insane, your parts aching to be together again. After months of you two, of you feeding him in utero those sweet nuts from a stall in Hammersmith, taking him swimming, feeling him move, both of you suspended, your family, future inside you, evergreen. He was a part of you, yours, emerging, white-stained, blaring, purple, shocked to be inflamed in air, cut from you, torn. We ask him to forget that, don't we? And we burn.
Jen, big congratulations. You also get a free pint as well. So well done. It's an excellent poem, as well as all the poems tonight, guys. Well done. What a family we have here. We're very lucky. What talent in the room. We're going to have a 10-minute break, and during those 10 minutes, I'll send around the open mic list. So if you want to come on a bit later, that'd be great. Put your name on the list, and we'll be back with the guest poets. Thank you very much.
That's a lot of pressure.
Next week, are you going to have the person rules? 24.
Yeah, so it's not this Tuesday.
The other. In 2 weeks. So we'll see.
Early morning.
But thank you, I'd love to be back.
See you next time.
We do it every other Monday?
It's the second Monday every second Monday.
I got to see you. And you too.
Yeah.
Notes to tell everyone, and then I'm leaving you for a second. And once I get over, you've got to get Not too bad. I have to tell you about the well, you know, where you get your water. You know, where you go there and you fill up the gallons and whatnot. So let's get steer on that now, where I want to get very good. You're eating for your teams and getting all right. Yeah. Like this past year it was a lot about this, never know where but this is September, I just knew yesterday, this weekend, they discovered there were it doesn't surprise me. Like, people on record, most of the country, to be honest, everywhere in the world is really cool. And Irish water was supposed to sort of say, like my dad is good drinking water, but he's not on the main for water because it's a different thing to do well, you know? Yeah. That's what you want in the well. Yeah. I mean, you could also obviously install a pretty decent filter into your kitchen sink. I'd like to do that when we get the kitchen renovated. I wouldn't do it now. So I think, you know, when else bring back the gallons later. Yeah. Save up your primary water bottles. Yeah. If they don't last too long either. You keep ones to maybe at least 10 times a day. It starts to get with that's it. Yeah. That's it. A little bit of sediment and whatnot.
Actually, I lost the list there for a moment. When I thought I lost it, and then I rushed around going, oh no, and then it was behind me. Yeah. Zooming in, get some line over there. That'd be a cool trick to play. I know, yes, yeah, well, hide less than Phillips. That was a great fight words, actually, really enjoyed that. You listen more here. I think I definitely listen. Often, actually, I focus on my poem guiltily. I think guiltily. That's true. But those were great, and I think there was no like big words there. They were all very simple. Good turnout. It's a very good crowd here tonight. Do you want to say it? There's a load downstairs. I'll call them up. You want to say, yeah, we kick it off. Tell them to kick it off and just come up and start.
But I went. Yeah, it's actually, it looks like it's full, but it's actually no worries, yeah, that's okay. Oh yeah, and counting people on Zoom, yeah. Counting people on Zoom. Yeah, no worries. All right, everyone. If you'll take your seats, we're going to start off with part 2 of the event. You'll sit down and do a bit of Cunis there. Cunis. There's something magical about the word Cunis. It's ingrained in all people who went to Irish schools. Looks like a few of us never had the experience of Cunis, but I had. Scary stuff. Cunis. All right. So before we have our guest poets, our fabulous guest poets, we're going to have a few announcements. Please be aware that this event is recorded, as I said before. It'll be available to revisit on MP3, on video via Lavelle website, social media, and Vimeo channels. Lavelle aims to be a safe space for writers and all attendees. We subscribe to the Arts Council Equality and Human Rights and Diversity Policy, and we ask that participants to report any offensive behaviour at Lavelle. The 12th 5-word International Poetry Competition's words change tomorrow at 12 p.m. Our 2024-25 judges judges Lauren O'Donovan. Sorry about that. The judge this year is Lauren O'Donovan. Excuse me. And she's right here. And the words are apart, river, tribute, undulate, and step. And if you want me to repeat those again, just come up to me later on. Our guests for Culture Night on Monday the 20th of September are the All-Ireland Slam champion, Anna D.
Friday.
Hmm?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It's not a Monday. It's a Friday. It's Culture Night. It's just held in a different time. And the Palestinian poet Freya Shama, and she'll be coming in through soon. Our featured guests on the original Veil, Monday the 14th of October, are Murray Niferin. Murray Niferin? Yeah. Excuse me.
Right there. Where are we?
Maureen Freehan.
and Kira Ni A. All are welcome to attend in person or online. If you'd like to participate via Zoom, just email us at info@ovale.ie. Thank you to everyone who has kindly offered us donations. The donation jar is will circulate. It's just underneath the horse's head. If you can pass that around, that'd be fantastic. We also take PayPal donations, and you can do that via the live poetry stage on our website or via our contact website, ovale.ie. So, all right, thank you. All right, so we are going to have our guest tonight is Paul McMahon and Massimo Lavelle. Everyone's excited already. Cool. So they're going up in that order. So it's going to read Paul's bio first, and if he's ready, he can come up. So yeah, Paul is a Belfast poet. His debut poetry chapbook, Border, was published by Southward Editions 2016. Paul was awarded the Keats Shelley Poetry Prize by Carol Ann Duffy and the Nottingham Open Poetry Prize by Neil Ashley. Other poetry awards include the First Prize in the Moss International and the Fingal, the Plaza, the Westerville, and the Golden Pen, and the Lestowells Writer Week Poetry. He got second prize in the Basil Bunting and the Salt Internationals and the Martin Crawford Poetry Prizes. He got runner-up prize winner in Troubadour. Fair play, Paul, you've done a lot. The Tom Howard and the Atlanta Review Poetry Prizes and the Bursley Awards for Poetry from the Arts Councils of Ireland and Northern Ireland. His poetry has appeared in journals such as Poetry Review, Relatio, London Magazine, Threepenny Review, North Agenda, Atlanta Review, The Stinning Fly, Irish Times, Poetry Ireland Review, Southward, and the Best New British and Irish Poetry. Please give a warm welcome to Paul. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks a million there. Thanks, I mean the poems there previously were excellent as well. Thanks for those. Superb, well done.
Okay.
But maybe okay for you. So this poem, it highlights the fact that being born in the worst part of town is a blessing. Milltown Cemetery, Belfast, March 16th, 1988. The last of the 3 coffins had just been lowered when the first grenade exploded. I was blown 12 feet away, yet landed on my back unhurt. Over the PA, a voice called out to get down. The crowd of mourners and journalists scattered. Some were gathering themselves from grave plots, underwater nails booming in the deep of their heads. A woman was carried past, her face masked in blood. Another grenade exploded. Pistol shots rang out, and an overweight man with black fuzzy hair and a thin beard appeared out in front of the crowd, holding a 9mm Browning pistol in his right hand. He raised both hands triumphantly up into the air, one fisted, one bepistoled, inciting the crowd to come on. His mouth muted by the din, Fish gasped inaudible insults as he produced another grenade and lobbed it into the air. The sea of people parted as it sank, and the dull sound of the explosion lifted a cloud of dust into the overcast sky. Film crews lay spread eagled behind gravestones. Women were screaming, men were shouting, the gunman was smiling. He began firing from his left to right in a steady line across the crowd, causing a sweeping domino effect. like a Mexican wave as one by one the mourners ducked behind the headstones. I waited, then ducked as he levelled his pistol at me. I held my face to the inscription on someone's headstone, their life surmised into two monumental dates. As the wave fell away to my left, with the gunshots tracing its fatal arc after the falling crest. Before standing up, I stole a glance over the headstone. The gunman had turned and was running towards the motorway where a white RUC van was parked on the grass verge. A group of people chased after him, hers bolting after the greyhound. The gunman stopped to turn and fire. The people chasing him dodged bullets like boxers weaving fists. The RUC van drove off. With no bullets left, no grenades, exhausted, the gunman ran onto the deserted motorway, chased by three angry men. At the graveside, film crews scrambled out from behind their protective tombstones, frantic for interviews, cameras rolling. A tall, blonde presenter for the BBC, with her microphone held out like a pistol, turned to me and demanded, "What did you see?" As I turned away, I told her what anyone from there in those days would say, "I saw nothing." Thank you. There were 5 assassination attempts on my father's life, and this poem was inspired by the third. I stepped into my father's shoes. The moment he stepped out from his off-license doorway onto the pavement and stood next to a lamppost. It was nighttime, but the street light cast a yellow haze over the area as gunman number 2 stepped out of a doorway 3 doors down and walked towards my father, my unarmed father, while reaching his right hand into the inside pocket of his coat. When he drew his hand back out, it was empty. The killer stood 6 feet away, my father said, and the expression on his face was one of wonder, as though gunman number 2 thought he was a ghost standing before him, bathed in the yellow shimmer of the streetlight. Gunman number 2 was no amateur. This was meant to be the 10th that he and gunman number 1 were to add to their kill list. So why didn't he take out his gun and shoot the target? But if we hold it there and rewind a few moments to the beginning of this assassination attempt, we will see my father trying to lock up for the night as gunman number 1 steps out of the darkness and presses a Mauser pistol into my father's chest, then tries to force him back inside the off-license, where he can shoot my father without being witnessed. But as gunman number 1 steps forward, my father steps to the side, and with his one famous jiu-jitsu move, the flick and spin, the Mauser flies out into the street, followed by ungunned number 1, who then gathers himself from the gutter and runs up the street and around the corner. And this is the moment, many years later, the same age as my father was on that night, that I step into my father's shoes and then step out onto the pavement and stand next to the lamppost. It is nighttime, but the street light casts a yellow haze over the area, and the killer approaches. Thanks, man. So Paul asked me somebody handed in this letter to Paul, so he asked me if I would read it out. It's for somebody called Joe. So if Joe's here, he needs to step forward. Dear Joe, I didn't mean to kill him. We were drinking all day. We were living in that one room for 3 months after you left. It was the end of a long, dark winter. We had 5 sausages. Who was getting 3? Who was getting 2? I whacked him over the head with a frying pan and ate all 5. Then called the cops. I had every intention of handing myself in until I heard the sirens whirling bad news out on the street. Ice blue flashing through the window. I bolted down the fire escape and headed for the hills. I used one of our canoes to get upriver. The sky spun around my head like a prostitute's skirt, and the stars flashed like lights and flitted around a swollen gonorrhea moon. But I rode through the night until I got here. I'm in that place, Joe, my place, my second home, as you used to say, the cabin we use when we're fishing. I gave this letter to a trapper rowing down river, who gave me his word that he would deliver. And I was on our neem tree today, Joe. Birds must have pecked his neem off. There is a hole on the side of the tree, like a gouged out eye, where his neem used to be. And the ghost of the old wild horse is still here, Joe. As I watched it run through the leafless winter trees, I couldn't stop thinking, is he with shades on the spectral wastes, drifting through endless day? When the kettle boils, I hear him neeming, I hear him screaming. As the train rumbles by, I feel him nearing. When I look out the cracked window of the shack, it looks like the outskirts of my own brain, the slum end of my mind. Tonight there is no moon, Joe. It's hiding out like I am, behind a sky full of bullet holes. Everything is hypnotized by the wind, Joe. There is no control. Man is a machine droning along like a fly in the wind. I left a canoe for you, Joe, submerged upside down in the water under the bridge. If you get this letter, Joe, roll me up some whiskey. Please, Joe, roll me up some whiskey. I'm not sure if Joe is here, but it seems like he gave me another letter. Will Paul? Might explain things. The burial of 10 to 2 Blue. No one looks for the dead among the dead. That was the solution. So I waited until it got dark, and when I found the lidded over grave the grave diggers dug earlier, I began digging. Hear nothing, I told myself, not the night birds, not your own breathing, nothing till the spade hits wood. In this silent darkness I was a giant. The shoulder of the spade was a rooftop, my foot crushing it down through eaves as the blade pressed into the clay. When I climbed out from the turmeric soil, I dragged 10 to 2 Blue's corpse to the edge and dropped him onto the closed lid of the coffin, then refilled the grave and patted the barrow down as the grave diggers had left it that morning. Before leaving the graveside, I paused to gather my breath. The grave tops looked like the rooftops of a steepled holy city, grave crosses rising up from 100 crosses, whose bell towers were the hilted handles of knives, the blades driven down into the starved ribs of cobbled streets. As I looked over the city of the dead, I felt myself rise, exalted, a holy man at the edge of a defeated desert, returning to bowed disbelievers. I flung the spade into the gaping dark. It whirled through the captured air like the wings of rooks in the belfry, and I walked towards the horseshoe gateway, with the great tidal hum of the universe washing over me. So this also happened. The crows. It was obvious from the way the crows came stumbling over the hill as though running along an old track in the woods, through trees cut down by time lived and died by others I heard of in stories, told by my grandmother to my mother, to my sister, to my brother, who then told me over the phone in the middle of the night, in case he forgot like the 1,000 other times his memory let him down, when the dawn washed over his brain's estuary, like the crows now wash overhead along the tree-lined ghost road through the air's invisible ground, like wounded soldiers en route home from the frontline trenches, flapping the black wings of their youth to stave off the winter that follows them and follows them, that knows where they live, that knows where we all live, and the very second we're all due home. Lake Michigan. As I went outside and looked across Lake Michigan, the February rain in seconds numbed the skin on my face while the winds ran through the trees, surrounding the cabin like wolves at the end of a bad winter when the only taste of blood they remember is the old and the runt of the litter, and the sky overhead was plummeting to level the earth as I ran back inside, barred the door, and twisted the deadlock into the frame, as I do back during the Troubles when the sound of screeching tires corralled rioters into the open waste ground at the back of our house, and I'd shut the curtains and hit the deck as they sped up the back path, the rioters and the armoured police jeeps, like the hail-filled winds that blew in off Lake Michigan, the echo of them battering the ground the way the police battered those rioters, trapped in the dead end outside our kitchen window, back in Belfast. Their howls the same as those winds that ran through the teeth, their howls the same as those winds that ran through the trees, all teeth and no lips, at the dead end of winter, when the only taste of blood the hunter wants is the old and the runt of the litter. Thanks a lot, man. This next poem's called Mosaic, and I did actually hear in the last poems the word broken coming up a lot, and it just must be one of those words, and I have it in here quite a bit as well. But Mosaic. She realized she was watching TV with her dead brother when he reached his hand through hers for a building block, the clairvoyant said, as I headed out the back door to smash Delph to add to the mosaic spreading across the garden wall like a virus. It was one of those morning TV shows, two hosts, a male hedging his bets and a female who wants to believe, sitting on cream couches, smiling all ears at the special guest, the clairvoyant, a bright-eyed but ruffled bird in her prime, whose blue eyes came back to me as I stuck the blue shards to the garden wall, and to see them glint, I highlighted them with the black fragments of my favorite coffee cup that dropped to the floor when I remembered the dream where my mother was alive but didn't recognize me after all these years, like I was someone at the reception in a hotel foyer, checking in while she was checking out, my reflection in her dark sunglasses as sad as it is now in the lens-shaped shard stuck to the garden wall, hiding an eye that remembers me but doesn't recognize where from. And I wanted to go back to see if the clairvoyant's brother had been letting on and had known all along, and that my mother had been playing the same game. But I stayed on, adding broken fragments to the mosaic, because things are made memorable by their breaking. This is called our earthenware jug. Our earthenware jug. I thought of the morning we leaned over the harbour walls and looked down at our two squiggly faces on the rippling water. When I looked through the kitchen window at the yellow gorse, after I had spread the broken fragments of the earthenware jug we bought somewhere in Connemara over the sideboard, so that I could bind it back together again with melted gold. Then, as I filled the crucible with nuggets and plugged it in, I saw you again, holding a yellow flower of gorse to my nose, telling me to breathe in the scent of coconut. And after doing so, I took the flower and rubbed it between my thumb and forefinger, a velvet ear, like your ear when on the verge of sleep, the dimmer switch I'd used to send you off into the dark lands, safe in your knowing that I was holding the lantern. Then I picked up the first broken fragment, a gorse flower, poured a thin strip of melted gold along its jagged edge, joined it to the shard that held the flower's stem, and pressed them both together. The gilded seam shone like a golden road between flower and stem, like the road we drove along when we left the harbour, with two high banks of yellow gorse on either side, the dark road behind us sinking down into yellow fire. I had dreamed of you the night before. That was why I took the box down from the top of the cupboard and spread out the fragments of the earthenware jug, the jug we bought somewhere in Connemara, that you flung against the wall before finally leaving to drive on out of the broken road, our road. When I finished gilding the jug back together again, I held its remade body up to the sunlight. It was somehow bound with a radiant understanding of how all things break. So, if you're out there listening, if you can somehow tune in through the radio silence of the intervening years, then know this. Instead of the cracked roads between broken shards, our earthenware jug is now traversed by roads of gold, and it looks, just as the brochure promised, all the more beautiful for having been broken. This next poem is called The Year I Painted the Humber Bridge. I did as well. That's a total lie, of course, but that's just said. The year I painted the Humber Bridge. Given two choices, I chose the night shift. So every evening, round about 10 o'clock, I stepped into a little cage to be hoisted up into the air, to paint my way along the strands strung from the bowed cables like the strings of a harp, but imagining the sound I couldn't hear as I strummed the paintbrush along the wound pleats. I saw how the starry sky could hear it by the way the moon's face glowed when it appeared high over the estuary like a freeze-framed football kicked by the ghost children of the tides, and by how the banks of silt gleamed light for the herons hunting the channel as the symphony hummed from the strands night after night, month after month, until those self-same children of the tides had kicked the moon across the estuary, and the little cage lowered me down for the last time to take with me back out into the daytime world the music of what we no longer hear. Thanks, Lily. So I think I'm actually finishing with this last poem, and this is a poem about biting off too much, and before you know it, there's a hook in what you've bitten off. The pups in the bog hole. I poured the milk into the cup of hot black tea until the surface clouded over and lightened with coils of steam like the genie of memory rising out from the uncorked bottle of the forgotten. The half-brown, the turf-brown tea settled at the brim of the cup, silent as the guilty bog water that brimmed the wide bog hole I had walked away from many years ago when I was a child. It was a deep bog hole, a blind eye, beside a bare oak tree whose branches, like exposed nerve endings, signposted its fatal spot in the middle of the vast gouged out turf fields. As I returned that day to Uncle Frank's pub on the sea road, through the coconut scent of the yellow wind bushes, the palms of my hands were still stinging, reddened, branded by the weight on the coarse fabric of the turf sack, and all around was the echoing liquid call of the curlew, marking out the hollow tent of the sky, the amphitheatre that had been listening all along to the puppy yelps muffled in the turf sack, and my footsteps dragging them to the bog hole. The mute colosseum of the firmament gasped as the tossed sack whirred through the air, hit the bull's eye of the bog hole, bobbed, seemed to float, then slowly sank. As I turned and fled, my footsteps were lighter, but the naivety of my bravery weighed down my outsized Wellington boots with a heavier tread. In my pocket was the 50-pence piece, the Judas coin Uncle Frank had given me to do the man's job he didn't have time to do, and overhead the crowded audience of the sky darkened in disbelief. As I sit here years later and lifted the teacup to my lips, I realize I have been bringing sacks to that bog hole ever since, the pups of what I cannot reveal to anyone, pushing the visage of their key of art paws out through the sacking. And in my head, I can still hear Uncle Frank's well-greased till shoot open like a bullet and hit home with a ring. And I still see, beside the bog hole, on the wizened trunk of that burnt oak tree, the eye of a twisted knot stirring out like the drowned. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for that. Some beautiful anecdotes there. Thank you. Thank you very much. One more round of applause. Thank you. Sweet. Now, our next guest is Massimo Lavelle. He's he's beamed his way in here to Lavelle from Philadelphia. Along with performing and hosting throughout his home city, he's performed at Penn Partners, Good Shepherd Hospital, Yale University, and virtually at Lavelle in Ireland. He loves creating poetry that's relatable to all kinds of people and atmospheres. He loves performing with multimedia, whether composing music to support his poetry or collaborating with other musicians, dancers, and philomophicos. Excuse me, my stutters are kicking in. He is thankful to be among so many people doing beautiful and positive things and hopes his poetry encourages that. It does. Give a round of applause. To Massimo. Is that right, Paul? Yeah.
Should I leave it?
Skip?
Yeah, I'll leave it.
The other one that's rather ready.
There's something that I pray to, I pray for. Not a truth. Text. Say what? Microphone check 1 2.
Can anyone hear it?
Can you hear me okay without it? Can you hear me good without it, you said?
Yes, but the Zoomers can't. The Zoomers can't. This is the mic for the Zoomers, you see. So.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Tell you
fine.
what, can you stand and say that again, just over there?
Microphone check 1 2.
Yeah, it's not great on Zoom.
Okay. Microphone check 3 4.
Amazing. Amazing.
There's something that I pray to, I pray for. Not a thing, but a truth there's a way for. Not a way that I make, but I'm made for. A true peace, my true love has been saved for. Still I speak when there's no need to say more, and spit seeds that bear fruit from the same core. My world and I are two sides of the same door, and don't have to turn inside out to remain pure. Whether with life I took more or gave more, may life be a gift that's already paid for. Like a love I never lost that I came for, to find peace gently placed in the same drawer. But still, there's an approval that I wait for, not from God, but something more there's no name for. So my way of asking help is to remain sure that I am not the creator, but the one who is created for. Now, what does it say that I create too? It's amazing we have makers, but we make too. But one human by themselves cannot make two. Just to create one human, it must take two. But even with no lover, I must make do. Why do I need a devotion just to stay true? My hope is that if my love story came true, I'll know it was real and not something I must make true. Can choice and fate fit in the same view? Or does destiny include both the way and the ways too? But with all the conclusions I came to, I still can't explain how I slept and then came to. Another day, thank you. Another day I awake to. May it be love I'm still face to face to. 'Cause no matter how sweet the dream fields I play through, reality makes sure I'm safe all the way through. But even when there's no need to say more, I spit seeds and bear fruit from the same core. My world and I are two sides of the same door, so I don't have to stay inside just to remain pure. Whether with life I took more or gave more, may life be a gift that's already paid for, like a love I never lost that I came for. A true peace, my true love has been saved for. Thank you. The child I was, I will be forever. The man who I am, he is half a pretender. He and his world think that they grow together. The bigger he grows, he's supposed to grow better. But he cannot fool me, because I still remember. Calluses he has, I knew were once tender. He is the new one, if time is the measure. But when time was old, I was newer and fresher. But the past cannot be resurrected, though maybe it's revived in the ways it's recollected. So many memories that cannot be collected until I remember I am where they are connected. Most of my thoughts are not made, just selected, and after a moment keep dissolving undetected. Though somewhere inside me I may seem to keep a record, as though there's some center from which I know I've ventured. Counting steps from the minute I was born, but after many years I feel the distances I've formed. I try to trace this body to the minute it was worn. Cord to my source may be cut, but isn't torn. 'Cause in life, to leave the nest is just the norm. But even though I've left the womb, my temperature is still warm. My heart is still beating, and the heavens do not mourn. They've kept their bond with me before a bond was ever sworn. So anytime I try to close the door and stay tucked inside, real life reminds me it's always living on the other side. The dark is the last place one should run and hide. The womb may be warm, but too dark to see the sun inside. Even though I know I'm just a seed that is multiplied, I'm also the one none can times minus plus divide. I am just a fool who knows the math is unjustified, along with a billion others who say they're the one inside. But before me, he, she, them first existed, before truth and the truth became different, before concepts of home that seemed distant, I remember this was my home, and I miss it. But I cannot grow back into an infant. Life must go on, so I go along and live it. Life may seem like it's unfair, but it isn't. It's more likely I chose to be born than didn't. But I am innocent before I ever think it. I'm just a child trying not to play outside the limit. This man was once a child, but still has not lost the imprint, and remembers when the world was good and won't let it forget it. But one thing about this world, no matter how you spin it, good can always be found, and it feels good to just admit it. Life is more than just a flicker of a flame over liquid. It's more like a sun too bright for looking in it. So morning after evening after morning, I am grateful. Mindful to handful to cupful to plateful. I leave from my bed, then my chair, then my table, the places I go, people met, make a day full. A sign that I'm allowed to live is that I'm able. The fact I'm still awake, even when I wasn't wakeful. Day after day, I'm the same, but I'm changeful. But just because I change does not mean I'm not faithful. Because the child I was, I will be forever. But that does not mean that this man's a pretender. He is just here as his child's defender. And the child he was is here as his protector. Thank you. My life may not be like what you would call a love story, but it is full of love and therefore a lovely story. I have people in my life who have love for me, so my world loves with me and sometimes it loves for me. I was born from two people making love purely. My form may be nature's, but it's their love that bore me. Will I make love in life like it was done before me? Or must I find love's root before I bear a whole tree? My love is not just like the princes and the princesses, although sometimes it is in little instances, a combination of a passion and an innocence. But true love is more perfect than the perfect picture is. Because my love is not just of words, sounds, and images. It's the reason for what a word, sound, or image is. No matter how cloudy or mighty my vision is, even when I close my eyes, I am far from visionless. Because my love is of the flesh and of the senses, but even they are not enough to measure its dimensions. Touch, sound, sight, smell, taste leave impressions, but the memory and the heart leave directions. Thoughts come, thoughts go like intentions. Thoughts give thoughts, but they're only suggestions. Don't let thoughts of lost love become weapons. Instead, let the love you've never lost become precious. If a love story isn't loving if it troubles you, unless it's just to show that love would take the trouble to. If real life comes before dreams coming true, so maybe real life comes with peace and with comfort too. But wisdom's not the teacher, it's the substitute. It's just a tool to help us do what we love to do. Even the wisest human being is an utter fool if they haven't found a way to be loved by loving too. But I admit it, I'm a hypocrite. I can love but can't say what love is or isn't. My deepest feelings change quicker than a minute, but through love's phases, what love stays consistent? I thought I saw a chance for love and thought I missed it. I thought the lesson was to get love, I had to risk it. I thought to love without limit meant to force my limit, and even went wayward from my nature to resist it. But over time, I learned to let the time pass. Judgments change, seen clearer through a time lapse. I thought my heart was broken, but it was just a mind lapse. My heart is still intact. I'm still alive as defined as. If love will always last, long as I last, if I can feel my tears and hear my laughs, through the curvy and the narrow and the wide paths, I can't speak for you, but true love has laid my paths. And if that's true for me, then maybe it's a truth you can keep too for free. A truth one can keep that can keep one is key. But the best prayer is where there is truth, love must be. But don't expect love from me. The love you look for is not the love that I see. Because I am not looking for my love. I have found it. It's here with me now as myself. I'm surrounded. Time waits for no man. Time waits for no man. Whether you're a fast man or whether you're a slow man, whether you're a young man or whether you're a grown man, you may be a woman or say you are no man. But time's face is no man's and won't let the quote stand. But instead of fear, I find comfort in the slogan that even though time seems to slip through my own hand, I have never known a time when my hourglass had no sand. If I try to think of a beginning or an end of time, it cannot be eternal without blending with the present time. If I say there's only now and there was never time, how does that explain these memories in this head of mine? Memories are more than signs of a better time, because I remember people, places, more than I remember time. Good things that happened, I hope happen every time, but as long as they have happened once, they are forever mine. Forever is a strong word. I cannot grasp it. My life's already longer than the brief time I have had it. But just to understand it, I try looking at it backward if the only proof I have that time exists is that I've lasted? Time cannot be touched, but still I feel it as I pass it, till I see I wasn't moving past it, but was moving as it. If time is not the object, but the light in which it's casted, if I'm always looking through it, but I'm never looking at it. I say time, but most times I don't mean time. Between time and space, there's real life in the meantime. I use measurements to cut a corner to a clean line, but even the straightest line is curvy to a keen eye. We use clocks to agree times to meet by, but their tick is too fast for heartbeats to beat by. Their tick is too slow for thought trains that speed by. Their rhythms too rigid to live and breathe by. So whether it is less than or more than a second, a moment is more than a word for a second. A memory is more than a word for a record. Experience is first, the word for it comes second. Because I was born before time had form or dimension, before I counted moments by their order in succession. If a rolling stone could gather moss that grows and keeps collecting, it would look like hills are rolling where a stone was stepping. If time is like a small seed that's smaller than a seed, that grows into a tall tree that's taller than a tree. But when it's like a forest and it's hard for me to see, I remember that it sprouted from a garden within me. So if I try to think of a beginning or an end of time, it cannot be eternal without blending with the present time. But if I say there's only now and there was never time, that cannot explain these memories in this head of mine. Memories are more than signs of a better time, because I remember people, places, more than I remember time. Good things that happened, I hope happen every time. But as long as they have happened once, they are forever mine. Thank you. So deeply I draw from the forces that make me. With these hands, I help shape the hands that embrace me. Creating is like giving birth to a baby. If what I bring forth from inside me may save me. With this spirit, I go where no hand can take me. With these eyes, I reframe a view that can't frame me. With this tongue, I claim to reclaim what can't claim me by freeing my words so my words can't contain me. Creating is sometimes like giving libations, if giving my gifts is a sign where my grace is. Like giving back starlight borrowed from high stations, or just paying forward my mother's kind patience. Because they say with great blessings come great expectations. So I give my tithes in rhyme-based exhalations. A strange way of praying by praising in cadence, a ritual sacred since days of the ancients. Because the voice of a human is something so moving that one word can plant seeds in hearts that keep blooming, and two words can join two souls into union, and one name can give form to whole worlds renewing. But the voice of a human is too much for one human. If even one voice needs another for tuning. Beyond a word's meaning, there's sound and there's viewing. The sound of one singing, the sight of one doing. If the act of creating is half inspiration, whether two lovers loving or one child just playing, because where love is the labor, some pains are worth taking. To show what you're giving birth to is worth saving. So deeply I draw from the forces that make me. With these hands, I help shape the hands that embrace me. If creating is like giving birth to a baby, if what I bring forth from inside me may save me. Thank you all so much. Peace.
Massimo, thank you so much. It's the honor, it's an honor for us as well. Just explain some of the energy in the room, besides this wonderful talent. Massimo has been tuning into us from Philadelphia for 2 years, I feel, probably even more. 4 years. 4 years. Sorry, my bad. 4 years. Time has flown. Time has not waited for no man, or many different types of man. Woman. I've been influenced, obviously. You don't even call yourself a man. So yeah, it's wonderful that he's finally made it to Lavelle, but he's part of the family for quite a while. So thank you very much, Massimo. As well as Paul McMahon, thank you so much as well for joining us tonight. All right. I believe there are some spaces left in the open mic list. Want to perform a little bit later, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Yeah. We're going to have a 10-minute break. And if you want to sign up for the open mic, the list is there right behind me. Thank you. See you in a while.
Hi, Philip. How you doing? My name's over there. I was
Pens up here.
where is the police? Oh no. Sorry.
That's going to go to back to back right a moment. I sent you a text regarding the castle adventure. You want to do it? Other castles.
You're already there, cow. Oh,
that's the five words.
Yeah. Where will I go? I go here.
I'm going to go right after you, You also you only want to come back and
Hey, man,
there's
there you
space.
go.
Go ahead. There's space for squeezing.
Oh, there's space for squeezing.
Oh, those fools leaving blank lines
Those
between.
gaps,
I
you gotta-
know.
you
You
gotta
gotta like,
filter
am I
the
gonna go
gap.
for that gap or
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah.
Oh, that's more.
I know, you must remember who's before you pick up. Is she not on it? No,
she's
Mona.
Yeah, she doesn't know that. She doesn't know. Mona. I'll just bring it over. She doesn't have no idea. Are you on it?
Yeah, I was quite waiting.
Oh, that's a lot of people. Zoom.
Hey, Paul. Yeah. Paul. Hey, Mo. How you doing? How's it going? That's the first time I met you. Good to see you. Yeah. What a great day to be here. Hi, right? Great choice. Yeah. Great combination too, you know. No, I know. So, it's good, yeah, that it's great sound. I'm open to country. I'm open to country. Yeah, you are. Road bowling. Road bowling? I'm from my Canada. I'm ex-chairman of the local club in Canada. Yeah. There's only two clubs in this club. I'm in Corrigan, Canada. I'm chairman of the Canada one. And interestingly, it's a women's club, no, the club was a big involvement. Last club was involved in the sport. Yeah. It's a great equal space. You know, it's a lovely it's a level, yes. Also participation. It's wonderful, you know. Do you get around much? Yeah. Yeah, you can join in an office too. You do that on the nights. Yeah. We're going to use that surprising we had two draw cards, How are you doing? Good to see you. How are you doing? I know you're looking okay.
Which thing? No, that's the 5 words. So the 5 words.
Oh, no, that's the open mic.
Yeah, but I put the 5 words here, and then I did line here, and that's the open mic.
Oh, I see. From there.
Yeah, from there, from the line down.
About 22.
Yeah, it's about, I'd say about 25, including the Zooms. Can you call everyone upstairs from downstairs? Can you call everyone from downstairs? Yeah?
How you feel up your well? Hey, well, how you doing? How's it going? Not bad, so. Drinking a medium is still on board. Huh? Drinking a medium. Drinking a medium. Yes, I have to keep it slow. It's just been saying in the country. Medium. A medium. They call it. It's supposed to be a medium, but no, it's a medium. Sounds like I'm the accent of being medium. The women would rather drink pints back in the days. A medium. He's a medium himself, isn't he? Yeah, medium. He can't take a full pint. I hope so. My stuff is sticked in there. It's fun. Wonderful poets. Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Oh no, I think Poe is great. Completely report. I know what you mean. You feel like that. I should like set the digital invite and then say it. That would be impossible. Let me know. Don't just look at the invite, ignore the extra information. I went, oh whoops, maybe I should have just said, do you want me on the podcast? And then, boom! Sorry? I'd love to have you on anyway. I'm very talented. I'd like to have a think we're going to spin it off. You don't mind politics and poems that make a difference. Poems that make a difference in the world of poems that spin it. That's what I'm going to show you. The one that's spinning it. So that would be great. I like that idea. Yeah, so it would be that taking inspire inspiration and making us look like so I've been doing much of that unfortunately recently. I'm waiting to get my degree and I'm going to join the United Union then. Next year. And it's when we join the... Is it? Oh, there. All right, everyone. Welcome back, and we're going to kick off the last part of the night when everyone's ready with their anecdotes, their stories, their evergreen stories, true stories, untrue stories. All right. Cunis, calm down. I know that the guests were fantastic. I know that we'll be talking to them about them all night. Thank you very much. So yeah, we've got a great open mic list. If we could 5 minutes each, that'd be great. And we're going to start off with David B. David, take it away.
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Excuse me, that'll be 3 minutes each. Sorry about that, everyone.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Is that
That's high enough.
Fire away.
Well, what an evening, huh? What an evening. Some great poetry there. This is father and son. To vape or not to vape. To say yes or no, to stay or to go. To rape when the answer coming is too slow or ends up as no. Or to swallow your ego and let her go. STDs or condom, please. Unprotected sex in the back of a car. Herpes can leave a very nasty scar. A trip to the pharmacy for a pregnancy test. Your fingers crossed, your mind in a mess. To drink and drive, being foolish and brash. Did you hear that he crashed? So what time are you going up to the church? I'm just going to watch him pass in the back of the hearse. To make your mother laugh or cry, did you think of that choice before you died? Youth is a gift that's only given once. It's made not to last, like a brown paper bag or in the wind smoking a fag or a rotten banana thrown in the trash. Youth, at its best, is respected, protected, and never ever neglected. It is capable of the most wonderful things and can cause you pain like your first bee sting. Happy and sad. It can be good or bad. It is strong yet frail. If you take a wrong turn, you could end up in jail. Your parents are there until they are not. You in your room would rather listen to PlayStation or curse at Xbox. It is up to you to put the icing on the cake with one hand or two. It can begin as early as tying your shoe. Life is a matter of choice, so choose wisely. In the end, it is up to you. Make few mistakes, infrequent and new. Don't let youth get in the way of your health, your happiness, your ability to pay. The book is called Life. The first chapter is youth. Every day that passes is like turning a new page. A happy ending ends in old age.
Thank you, David. Antonio, next, please.
Hi, congratulations again for the beautiful guest poets, really inspiring tonight. My poem is called The End of the World and is inspired by the recent travel that I did this summer in Portugal. It's called The End of the World because it's related to Cabo Sao Vicente, which is the extreme margin of the European continent, where once on a time many centuries ago was considered to be the end of the world. The rays of the sun rest on the limestone rocks. The wind is concrete. The cliff smiled to the trustworthy seagull. Kiss me again, my tender summer. The naked body of the sea burns on a tribal dense hemispheres of cobalt blue. At the end of the world, sailors are drunken angels on ships of clouds. Erotic knowledge that pushes the body to break its chest, to reveal an ocean deep as an art, repeating the sound of the clash of the sea waves against the cliff of limestone rocks. The wind bites the sweet ice, the horizon, sky, and sea become one unique shape. The surfing boards are sold by locals, riding up the waves to reach the nirvana. In that endless blue, it is necessary to disappear. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Can we have Catherine Ronan next, please?
First of all, I want to give a plug for Prose and Rose, Tuesday 24th. Come see myself, JJF and Quigley and Jimmy O'Shea. Woo! What a fantastic evening. I've been watching Massimo for a long time now, and tonight I get to meet Massimo in the flesh. Woo! Now, my good friend Paul McMahon is down there at the end of the bar, and what wasn't said earlier is that he's also a fantastic musician. So when choosing my poem for tonight, Paul McMahon has put this poem of mine to music. So this is dedicated to Paul. It's called Feast. I feel your loss suddenly at dinner with friends in a seafood restaurant. It comes in like an overtight stitch just between my last two ribs. My back is split and lungs displayed. I must be silent on the way to Valhalla, to meet you in the great hall of my desire. Your absence spells torture in my crow eye. Salt thickens, stinging skin of mistake. Fret of your wave leaves your indent on my thinly papered stone walls. Return, I cannot feast without you. Return, I cannot feast without you. Return, I cannot feast without you.
Nice, nice, nice. Can we have Roxanne, please?
So I didn't choose that, but it happens that this poem is the follow-up of the 5-word challenge. It's in French because it's been a while, and it's for a friend that I went to visit in Britain just after my brother's wedding, and yeah, 14 years of friendship. It's a long time. Fille de la mer, toi du nord, moi plus au sud du nez au temps gris. Il n'était pas écrit de se connaître dans notre propre pays. C'est bien l'eau pourtant qui fut notre point de chute, dans un coin de terre homologue que rien ne rebute. L'eau sortie de terre, revitalisante, pour des jeunes en quête d'entente. Une discussion, une autre, et on ne se lâche plus. La Corogne résonne de français dans ces rues. Chacune s'évade, avance, reprend le large, et c'est chez Shakespeare que concordent nos barges. Plusieurs week-ends, la même complicité. Bientôt 14 ans que dure notre amitié. Allez, viens, tu auras besoin de repos. Un appel aura suffi, et je t'ai prise au mot. 3 jours entre nous, au calme, à faire le point, et savoir qu'entre nous, ce n'est jamais trop loin. Thank you very much. And so she has read it because I sent it to her after we met, and because this event is recorded and she's not able to watch it tonight, but she's in the last stretch of her dissertation, and if you could give her a super cheer, that way I can send her the link after tonight. So if you can give her a big cheer, thank you so much.
Merci. Thank you. Can we, how was that? Can we have Mona Lynch, please? Yeah. Mona Lynch.
Fantastic, fantastic night. It was great to be here. This is a 2-stanza poem, slightly biographical. It's about life before I discovered all of this at age 75. That's true. I made my way into UCC at 75 to do the MA and came here poets that they invite and hadn't a clue of what I was at. Anyway, this is Persephone. My feet are a riot of protesting pain. Time to slow down, rest, redundant, remote. Yet a tune rising like smoke from an old violin can stir a churn full of memories. I whir fast backward through the years. Childhood, a potpourri of learning to survive shackles, struggles, yet find resilience to be resourceful from a mother, a beacon, a lighthouse. Teens, a maze, finding my universal path. 20s, marriage, babies, entering the queendom of motherhood. A seesaw of new coping skills, guided by the gut, trusting blindly, watching children and seasons change too rapidly, and letting go. Then, courage flickers to life, embers seeking a breath, bring flames of hope. A new day has dawned. I am on a campus, my own spot in the library, learning Chekhov, Joyce, Yeats, Persephone, Hades. I nod in the quad to my grandchildren with their bulging backpacks hanging. This is their rightful place. I am an anomaly, but I make the grade because starved, thirsty, I slurp it up like cider in the Abbey Tavern. I send submissions, fake academic critiques, follow the class up and down the hills of Beira to study the hag, ignore the protest of my new hip, my life enhanced by taking the road less travelled. I know I hold a treasury which youth has yet to discover. They must stop, smell the rain, feel the wind, be the change they wish to see in this world.
That was a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So glad you're on us. So agree with that, Rosalie. Thank you for being with us. Can we have JJF next, please?
These days, the epiphanies have been hitting me swiftly, so much so that something has shifted within me. And I could be like, it's all whatever, 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 because I've never been better. I'm the oh so clever, unfettered man of letters who finally got it together. But I could never get it together while we were together. So I think I'll think about that forever. Because I've stayed up late trying to pick it all apart amidst all the half measures and false starts. And I'm finding there's not an inch of thin skin left. It's all scars. But every time our eyes met, it was all sparks. But lately, we're so far apart that my safeguard has been to make art, create art, debate art, break art, rip apart art with sharp art shards settling into my soft and my hard parts. So I inspect art until I feel my stress and regret part. And I ingest art, stuffed till stretch marks, seeing the lines that stress marks. So how do I start to bring it to a close so I don't continue to miss you? It's like you've settled into my heart and my bones, speaking through my sinews and tissue. And I suppose I'm just composed of striated muscle, the last of my jangled nerves and whole rolls of adipose, because I'm pushing 40 years old with so many slivers of silver, but only a few gold goals.
Nice one, Jason. Can we Rob next, please? There he is. Sorry, disappearing us.
Is that right for you?
True story. I shit you not.
I was in the pub one night, right? And this guy told me the story, right? And I wrote a poem about it, right? And it was also one of these times. Now, I'm in a room full of poets. So you must have had this thing where people say, oh, you're a poet. Write a poem about this. So I fucking did. Also, another bit of context for this poem is I've been working down in Cove in this big old house, which is right next to the cathedrals. It's on the same kind of terrace as the cathedral. And it used to be, according to my sources, the Rear Admiral in charge of the Port of Cork, who was a British fucking naval officer at the time. You know? Anyway, I was down there working away one day and the old fellas came round and they were all chatting about it and I said, oh, I wrote a poem about Cove because this dude asked me to fucking 20 odd years ago. Here's the poem. Another bit of context. When you came down the road from Dublin and you were driving into Cork 20 odd years ago, there used to be a sign on the side of the road that said Cork, a nuclear-free port. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Yeah.
I want to see that.
It's not there anymore. Anyway, this is not a fucking stand-up comedian gig. This is serious poetry, right? So, geography is not my strong point, right? Remember that. That's important. Nuclear-free Cork. Now there's a laugh. I met your man in the pub and he showed me the photographs. It seems in the early 90s, they imported some scrap, offloaded at Haulbowline for the lads down at Irish Steel. This was pre-ISPAT. So the lads took the scrap and he put it through the plant and he turned it into shiny new girders to satisfy the German demand. And then the lads took the girders and he put them on a ship and he sent them off to Germany. It might have been Brest-Litovsk or maybe Hajduk Split. As I said before, geography is not my strong point. So anyway, the lads washed their hands and they thought, job well done. So imagine their consternation when the girders were returned. It seems like the girders were well beyond the pale because the Germans Geiger counter ran right up off the scale. So what was the story? What was the score? The lads were really angry. There was very nearly war, but there was one buckle there. A good old friend of mine, the guy who asked me to write the poem, who read them out an article over from the London Times. It seems the bright sparks at Sellafield had knocked some buildings down and they didn't want all that radioactive scrap left lying around. So who was responsible? Who was to blame? The management washed their hands of it. Sellafield did the same. Leukemia and cancer cut sway short, lads, and nobody seemed to give a fuck. So it's really very sad. And there's many a moonless, cloudless night when the harbour seems to glow and nobody knows the source of it, but it's not from the streetlights of Cove.
Nice and right. I know about that sign. Where is it gone? Okay, Cathal next, please.
Yo, how are we? If you excuse me while I fiddle with my props for a second here. Any moment. They glow, apparently. I didn't know I did that when I bought it. Ah, yeah. There we go. All right. We're 3 minutes winding down, is it?
You're right, you're right.
Thanks, Phil. All right, so as some of you know, I've been mucking around with hip hop a bit lately. The last couple of years I've been dabbling. I don't think I brought it down here properly yet, so here is a demo. It's called Neuromancer. On a desert planet in a state of meditation, beneath a Joshua tree in an alternate dimension. In the nth form of energy, cycling realities. I am in the spice trance, assembling new tryptamines. In the holiest of holies, I'll be feeding the rats until the ceiling retracts and the temple collapse. It's non-dual, no evil, only people and paths. Soul retrieval in the deepest of black. Ritual magic, see me breathing chupacabras like it's acupuncture for the planet. And the manticores and minotaurs and other cucarachas. And crack from the crooks, freshly unbattened hatches. An animal shaman examining twitching limbic phantoms. Neurotic neuromancer burning candles in a ramshackle medicine mansion. With my sigils hacked in Bellaman lambskin on the blackened backs of burnt napkins. Manifestos and annals, so casually channeled. This animist cookbook, one left hook, you get left on a flesh hook. Your delirious fearing to sleep. Here is the year of the beast, weary of hearing the bleating of sheep. We're here to shear meat from the fleece. Now, down a carpet of stars, velvet and dark, the goddess comes to draw a card. Behold, she holds the Queen of Hearts. It's another purple evening in the People's Bazaar. If you look hungry, you'll starve. I haven't figured out what to do with myself during this bit. So we're all gonna listen to this. This is David Copperhead, milk, piss and venom fed. In the land of silk and money, smoking out another mouthful of that killer bee honey. Chew another handful of alphabet amphetamines. Absolute zero point energy. Spew a few fluid eulogies. Mouthful of piranha breath. A symptom of the druidry is trying to leave some Sarah less. All blowing flocks, blowing flocks, flowing locks. Not a bobbin or an albatross. The trick is to look a little knowing and a little lost. I am the earth, I am the plow. I am a petal on a bow. My face keeps melting into crowds. And there's a smoke whirl of dervishes, sand skirts and perfume. Melt manta rays and mantises, anthills and Atlantises. And you can call a Christ-like figure as you plummet in slow motion. Just another raindrop to the ocean. You are tuned into the shadows, strapped atop of the mast. A word spreads fast, and every word you're saying is gas, gas, gas. Thank you.
That was slick. Did they say slick? Slick, right. Okay. That was great, Carl. That was really cool. Fair play, fair play. Can we have May Janet, please? Janet? May, yes. Come up here. Hello.
Am I just tall?
Maybe a little shorter, but there we go.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I haven't been here in a while. I've been having some health issues, I suppose. Nothing major, we think, hopefully. But it's not my first time. I've been sick. Back in 2019, I had some issues, and that's actually turned out to be something quite minor, but affected me majorly. And having gone through that has kind of given me hope now that while I'm going through whatever, that it's probably something so small, you know. But so in kind of, yeah, just kind of pay homage to that. I have a poem here about how tough it was, and it's kind of helps me be like, it's not that bad now because I feel mostly fine, you know. So this one is called Sick. Wow, I know, original. My eyes open. My makeshift curtain hangs awkwardly, introducing light in a panoply. Silence breathes through the house, and I breathe, and breathe, and breathe. My heart, not just in spirituality or emotionality, but in physicality, pants and heaves and beats and bangs, but my curtain, unmoved, still hangs. I need to use the bathroom, but for a small room, that's a lot of room to cross. I lie there. Nausea greets me like an old friend, but I just want the friendship to end. It doesn't. The bathroom. I force myself to sit, breathing heavy as my lungs were hit, not really sure how I'm handling it. Bathroom. My naked feet meet the floor. Soft wood would feel rough, but everything's just a bit too tough. My mind does not lie on the temperature of the room, or shrouded with a thoughtful stare, just empty eyes and stagnant air. No, my mind does not go to basic things like how much sleep I got last night, not even focused on sight. But now that I mention it, at least my sight is right and the room isn't spinning. I listen to the raggedy beat of rigid breath upon breath and wondering, am I feeling death, slowly slipping me into its nest? But as soon as I take a step, these legs, which bear the weight, quiver and shake and sedate, and my feet trudge like a troll to the bathroom. I made it. The white wood weathered door frame is all too familiar with this game. Finally, I feel a chill of my surroundings against my forehead as I lean and consider going back to bed. But I haven't finished my trip to the bathroom. 2 awkward steps proceed, my legs barely heed, my lungs still need, my heart still seethes. Sadness. I somehow make it back to bed. The relief is not of joy or relaxation, but of mental frustration and physical concentration taking a break. I lay there seething in silence, cursing the silence, wishing the sickness that plagues me would be nice enough to tell me why it berates me and why it hates me. Thinking of all the things I want to do and all the things I cannot do and all the things I might never do. As my breathing takes a break because my diaphragm is tired, I laugh and I feel the tissue around my lungs expand. And I wonder, when did it get so out of hand that even a secondary command, a thoughtless reaction like laughing, I could feel the expanding contraction and how tiring was such an action. I continue to lay there and I do not move because everywhere is tired. And I am tired, my body begins to slow, as if I am asleep, and I wonder if eternal sleep greets you this way. But my mind is clear, well unprepared, I am not going anywhere. Or that's what I tell myself, have to tell myself, always telling myself, protecting myself from myself. Because what people fail to realize is that every action to compromise feed the lies that I am okay. And the mental burden of pretending by presenting is also tired. I am tired, I am tired, but I'm waiting for the day that I wake up again. And I did, so hey.
Thank you very much, Mary. Can we have Lauren O'Donovan?
For context, I have a small girl who's 7, but I've been having an awful time giving her a little brother or sister. So, made possible by Cork County Arts, I've been working on a series of poems talking about secondary infertility and tracking my month-by-month progress through IVF. And this one, I'll bring you back to April. This one's called April. The small girl declares she no longer likes Easter because she's afraid of zombies. I remind her in our house, we celebrate life, and to always avoid direct eye contact with undead gods. After the first grass cut of the year, starlings peck step around the garden, their shivering wings an iridescent spectrum of irrelevant colors, where each feather is equally honest. Early daffodil trumpets have withered, limp and brown, incubating impossible seeds. What is the point of all those loud flowers when bulbs reproduce in the wet, dark, starless soil? The ultrasound screen sloshes with circles of black. A void that means presence, not absence. A sweet, fat egg, but on the wrong side. That fallopian tube was cut out to be a coffin for a coffee bean-sized baby. Another month, another cancellation, more hormones mean I'll be heavy with void eggs, a rare featherless chicken making Vanta Black omelets. The universe may not be locally real, but my reality is local. Crying is not an emergency, a funfair sign informs me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have Pam next from Zoom? Pam, are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Give a round of applause.
Thank you. Kinship. I shiver and shake, veiled between worlds, pale yet not fallen. Still, I am tired, tempted to give up, to give in. But my birth tree, Rowan, leaves feathered from eagle, owl, and vulture, sees hope in darkness, sheds blood-red berried protection. My found tree, black walnut, brooding furrowed sustenance, tap roots me deep, readies me to break with the past. My wishing tree, beech, threads the graying darkness, curls around voice, once thought lost forever, whisper sings speech. My drawn trees, poplar and aspen, burn kinship. We are your resistance. We are your shield. We are your words, rising from the ashes, inking into being. Thank you.
Beautiful imagery, Pam. Thank you very much. Can we have Alexandra next, please?
Just a little backstory to this poem. So over the summer, I went to Canada for holidays, and then after that, I went to Hungary. Every year, I go to Hungary visiting family and things like that. And I was actually very excited to go to Hungary because I love seeing my family and stuff, but it just didn't really go the way I wanted it to for many different reasons. And I was a bit disappointed by the end of the summer. So all I wanted to do is just come back to Ireland, to be honest. So this is kind of like a poem describing like the troubles and like what I was kind of feeling. And I actually felt pretty calm after writing this poem. It was like I felt at peace after it. So this poem is called The Prey and the Hunters. Trapped yet again, but unlike before, where she was a mental entrapment, I am now physically trapped. This was not how it was supposed to be like. I was meant to feel enlightenment, leaving all my worries behind. I was meant to pause all my problems, ones that have been chasing me. I can't escape it. My problems were the hunters, and I felt like the prey. And I, the prey, escaped the hunters from hundreds of miles away. I thought the prey was too far in distance from the hunters, but I was wrong. I'm now the prey to both new and reoccurring problems. The hunters don't seem to rest, not until they trap their prey and keep their mind in agony. I can't escape it. Escape the vision of one's intoxication. Where before I could escape and leave their environment, I am now in closer vision, and leaving is impossible. I see it, and it breaks me. Where their dear family blame it on tiredness and work, I warn them of the truth. But either they don't want to hear my words, or they don't realize the depth of their intoxication, their addiction. I can't escape it, neither here nor there. I can't escape it. The different minds here working with dissimilar logic, disputes here and there. I had enough of this. I hear it enough there. Here is just a repetition, with more individuals to add the spark to the flames. I avoid, I walk away. That's the only thing I can do here. I am trapped for now, no longer filled with independency like hundreds of miles away. no longer with the same wings of freedom to escape. No longer with those bright souls who pull me back from this entrapped feeling. It's like I'm counting down the days till I return. I love and miss this place, but it's no longer the same. The older I am, the more I see. And the more I see the once invisible cracks. In the end, the prey will always be trapped by the hunters. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Can we have Rosalind Blue next?
Thank you. Thanks very much. How to follow that? How to follow that? I'm back from a festival, like I said earlier, so I grabbed something that smiled at me and said, I want to be pulled out and aired a bit. So this is called Blackout Moon. The orange moon shimmering behind dimming clouds, pushing past in heaving droves. On land and sea the night goes wild, the storm is chasing life and light, and with a bang, the moon goes out. In the darkness of this blackout, at the bottom of the ocean, gather casts of wild crustaceans, lobsters, spider crabs and shrimps, clickety-clack in marching motion, shoving forward, upward, out. While above, deep in the outback, in the blackout of the moon, through the parched and dry savannah, quietly bounds in sleepy mood, with dreams of oranges and flowers, the big-eyed friendly kangaroo. And the tiger in the jungle sees the orange blackout moon and wants to follow the saltations of the friendly kangaroo as he's dreaming of crustaceans in the floods of the monsoon. So, what's the moral of this story? See, the blackout of the moon lures out all the varied creatures, marching, dreaming, hunting, wild, like the storm is chasing life, moving forward from the darkness, climbing upward to the light, searching safety, finding night. And this was a 5-word poem. And I won't tell you the 5 words.
That's unbelievable. Can we have Ben Thompson next, please?
About 20 years ago, a little bit more than 20 years ago, I wrote a poem about soldiers. And I thought for a long time about what to call it, and I finally called it Soldiers. Well, 2 years ago, I wrote another poem about soldiers, and I had a long think about what to call that. Being a man of profound imagination and infinite fantasy, I decided to call it Soldiers 2. So this is Soldiers 2. Because they inch slowly towards their deaths, they are slightly, so very slightly less innocent than you. You who, sitting in a pushchair in Kiev, felt the petals of awakening life fly off the stem. You who, serving cocktails above the Donbass, found the cabin gone and yourself grasping at air. You who, nodding on the autobahn, braked sideways into flashing headlamps and a screaming horn. Oh yes, they are only slightly less innocent than you, because they are pushed inch by inch, trembling, praying in metal boxes about to be filled with flame, in grey fatigues through fields draped with bones, in metal birds ripe to be blown from the sky, mumbling, sweating, clutching a photo of a girl in Moscow or Kiev, a letter, a lucky rabbit's foot. Yes, in whatever manner of coffin we have decided to launch them to do battle on the ocean of our raging discontents. They are only slightly, so very slightly less innocent than us. Yes, slightly, but so very slightly that all the sunlit uplands of our righteous innocence can never atone for their pain. And Dostoevsky spoke the truth. Nothing is more foul than that one should decide the hour in which another is slain.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan. Can we have Cedric next, please? Cedric.
So many people on the open mic didn't think it would come so quick. This one is inspired of a true story. It's called An Interlude Before the Bruises. A finger on the glass's rim whistles through the voices of countless conversation, a sharp fuchsia, which, like an orchestra, is tuning them against each other and the atmosphere of this drifting theater moment. The whistle steadily whittles down the chaos, regulates the movement of the sea of heads until the foam settles into a surface of blinking white bubbles. What was thin, shaded noise is now the pregnant darkness of silence. The whistles die. A tongue clicks, claps, waves and weaves, invisible directors steering tensions in the attendance, leading pupils into mores amid synchronized orchestra sighs, chuckle, cough fireworks. The masterfully peppered staccatos signify the coming of the intense envoi, the joy of a speech, finally of jokes and puns in full bloom that bursts of laughter could only accompany. The whistling glass, raised, scatters an aurora of lights onto all faces, sparkling blessing onto a cheering crowd, only to unfortunately exit through the fingers. The colorless clatter is met with winded screams and cackles. The spilled red ends this interlude. Hues the wildest wedding night.
Awesome, Cedric. Thank you. Can we have Alicia next, please?
Thank you. So I have some disclaimers for this one. I'll get to them later, actually. So I like that these events have really inspired me to share honestly. I've never regretted it so far, but I think I might after this, so we'll see. And before I get to the disclaimers, so this poem is about two of my main struggles in life that people might feel. Dating, very hard, I think you can agree, and finding a good therapist. So I thought I'd put them both in one and create one poem, you know, two birds, one stone. And the disclaimer is I have no judgment towards people who shop in Duns. That's fine. And I have no judgment towards women who have never kissed a girl. That's also fine. Your art doesn't actually reflect your values. You know, it's all just satire. So This is called a first date with my therapist.
Okay.
You greet me in the non-place, right here where people don't make eye contact, where we stare at our phones obediently, where we act as if no one ever let us know the careful truth. Mental illness isn't contagious, that even if we kissed, it wouldn't rub off. Even if our bodies touched skin on skin, it wouldn't leave a stain. The infection only starts happening later on, but not at the first tingle. But when I'm the only one you text when you're tired and afraid, when we become vital ventilators, oxygen pumps, allowing those poor pulmonary pieces to keep on grinding on. But this blonde lady in this white room has been warned. She is in the know. She meets my eye. I'm not afraid of her because she's separate. She has nothing to smear over me. Her life can't touch me in this room. And even if she lets a little scrap of her slip out, there are tissues just in case. Before she ever speaks a word, I appraise her and I let the judgment begin. She shops in Dunn's. She has never stepped foot in a vintage store. She uses the Snapchat dog filter. She has never kissed a girl. She has never even thought about it. She loves easy reads in Mallorca once a year. She takes brunch with the girls from school once a month and can't admit she hates them all. She can't admit that the systems are the problem. And she leads me in, pronouncing my name, ? Did I get that right? Where's that from? Matter of fact, I nod. And the space shifts to suit her, and I shift to suit her. 3 minutes in, I know I'm on a first date. The signs are all there. An old familiar tale, an old familiar state. I do not set the tone. Gentle adrenaline tinged with nausea. I know how this will go. My mind begins to blur, blurting out the same old anecdotes, the familiar tales. What my mom is like, why my dad is the way he is. The generations of aching that I'm trying to absolve and soothe, mirroring her language to make sure she understands. I use the word mom. Never called my mother that in my life. It's just the word she used. I avoid the word ancestors like the plague. I tell her what I do for work, and I use words I think she'll understand. I leave the poetry behind, despite the fact it presents me in a clearer light. Knows me better than the clipped words I choose for her ever could. She doesn't tell me to slow down. She doesn't ask me what my favorite cereal is. She doesn't ask me about God. Although I've said the word 3 times, she doesn't use any adjectives at all. I can't express how I feel life to her. As I look in her grey-blue ocean stare, I can't let it trickle how things are juicy or caustic or zingy, how experiences make me feel fizzy or like my bones are dry or like my body is made of melted chocolate. I need her to know how important it is to me, that special moment. The one where I realized 4 potato waffles on their side in the pack match perfectly with one laid flat, perpendicular to the rest. This means I can have 3, leave 1 in the box, and it stays perfectly square. I leave that fact in the freezer. I can't tell her that this made my day. And she doesn't ask about sex, even though sex is core and vital. If we could just admit we think about it at least once a day. Along with food and sleep, it chases us so that we think of the nape of their neck as we read the news, the soft rolls of their belly as we go for a pee in Tesco, the suggestion of their daring gaze as we sit on Dublin bus. She doesn't want to know. She's never kissed a girl, I can tell. It's not her fault, but I wish she knew what it felt like, and I wish she cared. I wish she asked. But we chat and I gesticulate until I have no concept of time, and before long her questions make no sense because I don't trust her to hold the silence, so I fill the void instead with anecdotes and outdated findings and words she'll understand. She tells me things take time, and I nod, and I tell her she's so right, so true, girl, they really do. I tell her I've never heard of internal family systems or delayed gratification, or the fact that we choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. I speak to her in a way I think she'll understand. I fold and I fold and I fold, and origami and paper cuts until I'm small enough to fit in her pocket. She could take me home with her in her silver Honda Civic. I could fall asleep on the drive. So as first dates go, it's fairly standard, and thankfully there's no obligatory kiss at the door. And instead of faking fighting about who pays for drinks, I know I've prepaid online. No need to fake it again. I step outside that threshold and come to terms with the fact that I won't listen to my gut. I'll ignore every vibration and listen to the damp logic that says it's important to give people a second chance. Maybe she was nervous. Maybe I was too. I'll probably see her again next week.
Cool. Can we have Kieran McCurtain up next, please? Nice one, Alicia. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. And thanks a lot, everyone. It's been a real pleasure to hear you tonight. Thank you to the guitarist.
Is Andy and that? Is he alright?
Not getting paid enough. Go play your fucking golf, you fat fuckers, and suckle from the teat of your genocidal campaign. Go play your fucking golf, you fat fucks, and bathe your hands in oil as you gaze over the fairway of your well-manicured Florida landscape. Wipe them on the sleeve of your pink synthetics. Rub the knees of your pressed cotton pants. Fine dyes from the Near East. Sweaty. How close it is to you, really. Persecutingly sweaty. Sweaty as in how the skin gets as the sun gets high in the middle of the day. The way it makes the flesh smell. Go eat your warm, home-baked apple pie. Sweet, isn't it? Sweet, thick cream. The kind that holds its shape as you throw it at the wall. How the splatter casts a shadow on the paint. Thank you.
Nice one, Kieran. Thank you very much. Thank you. Could we have Suzanne next, please?
Okay, so this poem is dedicated to my great auntie who passed away 5 years ago. So she was the daughter of a survivor of a tsunami that we had in Europe in 120 years ago between Sicily and Italy. So my great grandmother, when she inherited so much that she decided her daughter were going to get educated. So she was the first poet I met because she used to tell me a lot of stories about Ulysses. Where she was living between Italy and Sicily, where Ulysses had to cross the street to get into the death world. So the landscape has the names of the characters and the places and the monsters of the Odyssey. So it's called Summer Afternoons. My childhood is a small triangle of light, an enclosed wild garden where the nettle is high and the Judas tree looks back at you. I do not remember how many steps I needed to crawl to my great auntie's kitchen, but I can feel the roughness of the wood under my bare feet and hands, while her voice leads me upstairs. She's the captain of my boat, the loud voice, who knows how to grow tomatoes with no water, and when to harvest grapes without touching them. Her nose is always into someone else's business, and her shirt is bright white under the red lipstick. No ring on her fingers and no safety belt while she drives. I sit on her side, pulling the foam out of the hot plastic seat of the old Renault. A new chapter of the Odyssey is unfolding from her smoky lips while driving in the dry river in the summer afternoons. The car bounces and bumps while we laugh and scream, and the apricots fall from the basket into the back seat. We'll eat the dirt too. The femme fatale Circe turned Ulysses into a pig after he refused their love, him and his whole crew. I see Ulysses as a tall, hairy, beardy man with a bad clothes and a sweet breath, like the fisherman we met at the beach where Ulysses faced Charybdis. A world of sirens, dark and untouched, is left unsung by the poets. Where are the women in the fairy tales when the male completes his quest? They're making fried aubergines and stuffed olives that will feast in my mouth. I lose my shoes. She buys me sandals, red little sandals. They make my feet bleed. I keep them with me in my sleep.
What a story, thank you. Can we have Chris next, please?
Just wanted to say that I'm so excited to finally see Massimo here because, my God, you are like, I mean, just insane. Thank you so much. All right. The armor of a man. They tell me hide your tears, be hard, be strong. Yet human hearts were made to break and heal. If laughter's chains are loosened, can that be wrong? Am I whole because I choose to feel? They burden us with silence like a crown, to bleed in shadows, yet to stand and fight, first into danger, first to fall or drown, but last to seek a hand in the darkest night. And in that weight, our fragile edges tear, beneath the armor, cracks begin to grow. Is strength in bearing more than what we can bear, or does true courage lie in letting go? So I will stand, not as the world demands, but as a man, with an open heart and open hands.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Beautiful words. Thank you for sharing that with us. Could we have Patricia next, please?
Thank you. This is called Hard Return. I learned long ago never to press return at the end of a sentence unless a paragraph fights its corner despite you. First, do no harm. Pitch past pitch of grief. Those who can do, those who can't criticize. Biting one's lip before interrogation takes place. Eating out of turn. Things not to do, in company or otherwise. A correct mistake. Splinters my will. Some faux pas or resurrection. Press button A for connection. Losing to will to die and the strength to live. Stretched out. A corpse sobbing within sight of rescue. The moves are false. You've got everything now. You cast off blame like an iron cage. Hardware melting. A faulty infatuation eats me in my shirt. Pain is bearable enough to visit past intransigent. A paean to a colossal near miss. An unlucky escape. Onerous as it seems. Tears fighting back. Losing battle of wit and wits. Burning machine chimes out to last fury. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Patricia. Can we have Mo O'Connor next, please?
Thank you very much. And I have a timer here on my watch. And if I go over to 3 minutes, I get a shock. Anyway, so this evening before I left the house, I happened to check into just watching the news, and I saw the leading story in American news channels, and it's about a guy called Tyree Hill, and he's a professional footballer who plays with the Miami Dolphins. And yesterday he was on his way to the game. He was pulled over by the cops, some traffic infraction, but lo and behold, he was handcuffed, face down on the side on the pavement, kneeling on his back, and but his mate came along and pleaded his case. Eventually, anyway, they let him go, which means he couldn't have done anything very serious if they let him go. So after being handcuffed, he went on. He played at the Miami Dolphins and scored a touchdown. What a guy! But the real thing I'm trying to point out here is being black in America. You're still a moving target. And this poem is from 4 years ago. I wrote on the death of murder of George Floyd, and this poem is called Martin Luther King's Nightmare. I wrote it back in May, 27th of May 2020. Very short poem. Martin Luther King's Nightmare. I had a nightmare that almost 60 years later, brothers would die in the street while onlookers filmed for the nightly news. I had a nightmare that the white men who knelt to pray on a Sunday would kneel on a black man's neck on a Monday. I had a nightmare that civil rights would be discarded, blowing in the wind, just like Bobby's song. I had a nightmare that armed fascists could protest while water cannon greeted all the rest. I had a nightmare the Civil Rights March on Washington in 1963 was only a dream. Thank you.
Thanks for that message. Thank you. Can we Carol B next, please? Is that okay for you?
Yep.
Nice one.
This is called Plastic Aspirations. You can have everything you've ever dreamed of, but only when you don't want it anymore. You'll plead to be let out of your cage, so that you may sprint through your youth and forever onwards at a gallop. They will let you out, but only when you're too old to move and too scared to leave the comforts of home. You will want to fly and soar and see the world from above. They will make it possible. But you won't fly like a bird. You'll fly like a fish when it's dead. Packed in a can, sealed in tight. You'll fly in that can and you'll get there all right, but you won't know the feeling of a bird in flight. Thank you.
Nice play of words. We hope you join us again. We have Margaret O'Regan next now.
This is very short, as a fitting for the end of the night, and it's called Sleep. Your scent lingers, the pillow remembers. I sleep in your essence.
Margaret, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to do a poem, if you don't mind. Margaret has a lovely, lovely encapsulation of the mic, but I really want to do this one. Sorry. But it was excellent, though. Everyone was excellent tonight. Wow, what a night! What a night! What a night to MC. Whew. Anyway, I'm not going to give an introduction to this because I'm going to jump right into it. I want to see what it's like. I basically ran home yesterday, going to write this because I got inspired by somebody else. I've gone to where my mind will become dust, clean slate among all the other smooth roof slates.
not this cracked tile that I've been dealt with. This intellect, a different wattage, this self missing a few bits of code at birth. I've gone to where my mind will be aborted, formatted, neutered, and completed. So they say, so they promise, so they've invented. I sit in this wheelchair, gazing at the LED lights, autistic, Asperger's, sensor observer, a selective sponge on a different wavelength. Between my chittery hands I hold a pterosaur figure. It represents me, as pterosaur is not a dinosaur, but lived among dinosaurs. I love paleontology, especially the study of avian reptiles. Why though, why would I want to remove all of that intake, that soaked up knowledge and that passion? I want to love, and I want to be loved back. I'm tired of being a solo wolf without this pack. A trapdoor. The trapdoor of the machine drops. It's like a silver cylindrical interior of a washing machine. I slide in and the door shuts. And now I'm shrouded. Blackout. And before it starts to spin, something goes wrong. Instead of everything going to dust, something hijacks my mind. The scientists are too late to notice and try to stop. My mind's eye explodes and I see a galloping ocean, a meadow of textured sand, a hawthorn tree the size of a cosmos, strips of cloths dangling from the branches. It sits at the base of the trunk, a giant with two hounds, growling and talking. It has been waiting. The scientists try to wake me. I try to wake. Until I embrace it. Who I am. I am a pterodactyl cutting through the skies. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute, I'm the MC. I was walking off and going, top mic, and I was like, hang on. Not bad, Phil, not bad. Sorry. Thank you so much, everyone, for a fabulous, fabulous night of talent and enriching words. We're a beautiful family. We're a beautiful wolf pack here. Big round of applause for Paul and Massimo. Wonderful guests. Both live here in the room. And to everyone that took part in the 5-word challenge and to the open mic. Yeah. We are going to have a bit of afters now. We're going to go to Maureen's. Just around Mains. We're not going to Maureen's. We're going to Mains. They both begin with M. We're going to Arthur Mains. It's just around the corner. You're more than welcome to join us. And otherwise, hope you get safe. Have a safe trip home. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
After was no Maureen.
Oh, now it's Maureen's. Jesus, that's my biggest blunder.
That's your biggest blunder, you're lucky.
You're great.
Thank you. Yeah, no. I definitely need to go.
Lovely, well
Yeah.